What's going on? It's your boy Tank, and you know I got soul.
First of all, congratulations on the new album, Sex, Love, and Pain 2. It's doing really well so far.
Thank you very much.
We were curious what made you go with the title for Sex, Love, and Pain 2. I mean, we love the original, but we noticed this one had a little bit of a different sound, so what made you title it that way?
Well, I mean, outside of the fans, asking for it for the last, I don't know how many years, you know what I mean? I launched my new label, R&B Money, and my album would be the first album off of my new label. And I said, man, if we're gonna go hard or go home, we need to jump into the franchise, jump into the staple, jump into the thing that people know me for, and that's that Sex, Love, and Pain. That space right there is where I really connected with the people in a major way. And so, we decided let's go get it. You know what I mean? Let's make this the one. And so, what we were setting out to do was just give this Sex, Love, and Pain, its own moment. I think that it's good that it happened so far apart, so that of course people are going to compare, but we also understand that it's almost 10 years later, and so a lot has changed musically, a lot has changed, melodically, sonically. And even how things are even talked about has changed a little bit. So, the fact that the fans have allowed this Sex, Love, and Pain to be its own is pretty awesome as well.
One song that immediately stood out was the first song on the album, the Sex, Love, and Pain 2. We really got a Jodeci vibe off that. Can you talk about that one a little bit?
Well, it's funny because that's exactly what that is. Like, I wanted to remind people of the first time I got that feeling when I turned on Diary of a Mad Band. Like, my life, it changed my life completely when I heard that. And, I wanted to inspire other R&B artists, singers, songwriters, producers, to be invested in giving people those feelings again. You know what I'm saying? Be invested in creating those nostalgic moments, you know what I mean? And creating those spaces in time where people remember where they were and what they were doing. And and that's how I tailored that music. I wanted you to know where you were when you first turned on Sex, Love, and Pain. I wanted you to know what you were doing, where you were eating, who you were hanging out with. You know what I mean? I wanted to create that feeling in that music, and you hit the nail on the head. It was Jodeci. That was the biggest influence for that.
I think one of the things you were really successful on this album with was fusing that grown sound you're known with also a little bit of the trendy sounds in there too, and it's like it makes it current. Is that something you were going for?
Absolutely. You know what I mean? In order to inspire the new, you kind of got to be new. You know what I mean? You kind of got to be able to live at least a little bit in the spaces that they're living in, and meet the younger audience kind of where they are, and even the new R&B listener. So to speak, you know what I mean? Because R&B does transition and change, you know what I mean, as it evolves. But of course, I'm true to what I do, man. I'm always heartfelt. I'm always singing about a woman in some way, shape, or form, and I just tried to keep with those traditional aspects so that it could create like a classic current blend, so to speak.
Right. So did you end up looking back on the original Sex, Love, and Pain and borrow any elements specifically from that one? Did you use it as a blueprint in any way?
Well, I used the energy of the first Sex, Love, and Pain. And when I say that, I mean when we went and made Sex, Love, and Pain the original, we didn't follow any rules. We didn't have anybody to answer to. There were no budget restraints or anything like that. We just did it the way we wanted to do it and had fun with it. And that's what I did with this album. I just had fun. I said it the way I wanted to say it. I got the producers to produce it the way I wanted it, and I didn't follow any rules. I didn't follow any classic R&B rules or any current R&B rules. I just did my own thing, man, and I'm happy with the results.
So now I think it's interesting. Your new single, B-Day, it's going to be being played on urban radio. We're used to hearing you a lot on urban AC. So were you just not comfortable being just stuck in that lane? Did you want to branch out and reach more audience?
Well, I don't think anybody's comfortable being stuck in one place. So that's the movement. You know what I mean? To not just live in one space in one area, but to be able to branch out and touch other things, other people, other opportunities. Life is about growth. You know what I mean? And understanding what boundaries are set for you and trying to push the threshold of those boundaries to go even further. You know, if you're not doing that in life, if you're not trying to get better, if you're not trying to expand, if you're not trying to just do something great at all times, then what are we living for, so to speak? So, you know, Birthday and a few of those other records are those moments where, you know, you still have a classic tank, but you have an opportunity to flush it out to the rest of the world. You know, it's not just stuck, you know, in one person's hands in just one box, but there are plenty of boxes that you can put this Sex, Love, and Pain 2 in.
Right. Now, I thought it was interesting that you were part of the TGT album a couple of years back, and it had like a strictly kind of grown sound on there, and then kind of this one's a little bit more trendier, but also mixing some of the grown. Was it ever a thought in your mind to stick with that TGT mostly grown sound, or was this something you wanted to go with and try to be a little more trendier?
Yeah, well, I mean, no, never. I mean, TGT is kind of its own thing, and I think with the music bed of TGT, you know, that was our common ground. That was a space where we all agreed upon, where everybody could perform at their best. You know what I mean? Everybody's not comfortable, you know, on up tempos. Everybody's not comfortable on swag records, you know. And so I wasn't going to impose that on the guys. You know what I mean? Because we, you know, there's a soft spot where we all fit comfortably and can do our thing. So, you know, I knew when it was time for me to do my record, you know, it was going to be time to turn up. Absolutely.
Right. Now, this R&B Money label you've just recently introduced, you put your own album out as the first one on there. What else? How did this come together, first of all?
Man, I walked into Atlantic Records, man, and I said, hey, man, I think I've done enough work around here to warrant some type of real situation. You know what I mean? For us to partner up and do something really cool. And they agreed. You know what I mean? And that's a really tough position, you know, right now, because, you know, you have to understand, like, a lot of people have, you know, you have a few people with some independent deals, you know what I mean, and they're rocking that way. But, you know, I have a joint venture with a major label, you know, and that's, you know, that's what the Puffies started, and that's what the Jay-Z started, and that's how they really, you know, made a mark in this business, by partnering up with a real strong company that can help take things to the next level. So Atlantic Records has been good to me, and, you know, I think we're returning the favor for each other. You know what I'm saying? I'm taking so much of the work out of their hands, and they're rewarding me for it. So I love the position. You know what I mean? Because it's back to the hustle, back to the grind. You know what I mean? Like, I see a different check the harder, you know, the more I work. You know what I mean? So that's inspiring within itself.
Definitely huge. And can you talk about some of your plans with it? Do you plan to sign some new artists?
Oh yeah, we plan to sign new artists. Plan to, you know, just, you know, I want to go into, I want to be the station for developing great acts. You know what I mean? You know, as it pertains to Atlantic Records. You know what I mean? When they have a great act and they're not sure where to go with it or how to develop it, I want them to look to me and R&B Money to be that space. You know what I mean? How Jimmy Iovine looked to Dre. You know what I mean? And all those other examples I could give. Like, I want to be that space. Right.
And you've got a group, I believe, 12 Till. Can you tell us about them?
Man, just some hungry kids from Beaumont, Texas, man. That came out, flew them out. They sang. We did some records on them. We loved them, and they said we never want to go home. And we said y'all don't have to. And we've been rocking ever since. And so, you know, with R&B, it's about being creative about how we establish those kids, you know what I mean? And so this tour, them opening up for this tour, is going to be a great way to establish them, for people to start seeing them, asking questions about them, to kind of buy into what they do, you know, tap into their social medias and all of that stuff. So it's going to be really cool for them, and I'm very excited to start building, you know, in terms of their careers concerned.
What else can we expect on this upcoming tour you've got?
Well, you know, I mean, different cities, we might have a few surprises in terms of, like, some of the features on the album. You know, some of those people might creep out on stage and turn it up one time. You know what I'm saying? But you know, it's my tour. You know, it's my first headline tour ever since I've been in the game. You know, it's been 17 years, and it's my first headline tour. So that lets you know that, you know, Even after 16 years, still making progress and still
Right.
knocking some new doors down. So, no, I'm just excited to get out there to give the people an experience from the beginning all the way to now. You know, we're gonna start from Force of Nature and go all the way to Sex, Love, and Pain too, and I get to do it my way.
Dope. And then just final question. We hear the term real R&B thrown around a lot of times. Don't really know what it means, though, to everyone. It means something different to everyone, it seems. What does it mean to you, real R&B?
Well, I think that you hit the nail on the head. Real R&B is whatever's real to you.
Yeah.
You know, everybody tries to impose their views or their style or their understanding of the music onto everyone else, and it's not the case. You know, music is personal. Music is the thing that meets you wherever you are and provides whatever need you need at the time. You know what I mean? So, you know, it's tough for me to tell August Alsina he's not singing real R&B when he's just expressing himself the best way he knows how. You know, he's singing the song the only way he knows to sing the song. You know what I mean? It doesn't sound like Marvin Gaye or Donny Hathaway, but it's his version. You know what I mean? It's his understanding of what that is. So, you know, when you ask me what real R&B is, I think it's just that individual being real to themselves, being real to their emotions, being real to their experiences, and sharing that on record, whatever it is.